So today we're going to be working on the same ideas that we did yesterday. We're going to use those same properties, but now we're going to add in the idea that we're going to be proving that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. It's going to be getting into the idea of a reason, a statement, and a reason. You're getting the proof that goes over there on that right-hand side. So we're going to be using the same concepts as yesterday. The only difference is we are going to put the word prove in front of them. Literally, for the first 5 of them, the only difference between the first 5 yesterday and the first 5 today are going to be the word prove. Literally, prove, 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 prove. That's it. So you should be able to tell me the 5 things that we learned yesterday. What are the properties of, what was that? Voice crack. What are the properties of a parallelogram? What's the first one, guys? Yes. Both pairs. There you go. Both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. That is the first test. If you can prove that both pairs of opposite sides are going to be parallel, then you have a parallelogram. All you need is one of these tests to be true, guys, for it to be a parallelogram. Just one. For the second one, somebody else. What's the next one? Prove what? There you go. Both pairs of opposite sides are congruent. There we go. That's number 2. If you can prove the opposite sides are congruent, you know it's a parallelogram. Now, it could be more. It could be a rectangle, could be a square, could be more things. Rhombus, not rectangle, sorry. Yeah, rhombus, rectangle, rhombus, square, any of those. Those all work. But you can't prove that unless we have something else. To prove it's a parallelogram, that's all you need. Okay, what else makes something a parallelogram? Both pairs. There you go. Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Again, you only need one of these 6 tests to be true, and we know the first 5. The only one that's going to be new is number 6. This is the only one that's not a regular property. Okay, so give me another property that we learned yesterday. Yep, what do you got?
Same side interior angle bisecting.
There you go. Prove same side, if I could write, same side interior angles are supplementary. Prove that the same side interior angles are going to be supplementary to each other. What's the only one we haven't done? Oh, diagonals, guys. What do the diagonals do to each other? There you go. Prove diagonals bisect each other. Prove that the diagonals bisect each other. Prove that the diagonals bisect each other. Okay, number 6. Number 6, guys. Last one is the one we don't have a property of. And guys, it's the only one that works this way. You are going to prove, and the next word is the most important. 1. Underline it, star it, do something. You only have to prove one pair of opposite sides parallel and, that's the key, and congruent. If one pair of opposite sides has 2 things that qualify for it, they're parallel and they're congruent, then you also have a parallelogram. It's the only one that works with one pair, guys. All the rest of them have to do with 2 things being the same as each other, or adding up to 180, or doing something. This is the only one that works with one pair of opposite sides. So it's the only one that's unique like that. Does anybody have any questions on that rule? Okay. Hope you'll still write and let them get it down. Okay. Anybody else have any questions or still writing? Okay, let's show you what we're gonna do. Guys, you should recognize these first four problems. Do you see this is the exact same thing we did yesterday? They only called it a different word. It's the first 5 problems on your homework today. Guys, find x and y, meaning solve for x and y, so that this is a parallelogram. What's that word? Parallelogram. In order for this to be a parallelogram, then the opposite angles would have to be the same, congruent with each other. So in order for that to happen, 7x would have to equal 56. Divide by 7, and x equals 8. That one's pretty straightforward, we got that one. For the other one, we set the y's equal to each other. It's going to be the 5y minus 26 is going to equal the 4y plus 4. Yep. Get the y's all on one side, minus that 4y. And guys, again, we've talked about this. 5y minus 4y is just y. Minus 26 equals 4. Add 26, and y equals perfect. Perfect. Okay. The next one is exactly the same, but instead of proving the opposite angles congruent, this time we're proving the opposite sides congruent. So this one's got to be the same as this one. This one's going to have to be the same as this one. Guys, I'll do it backwards just to show you. It doesn't matter which one you solve for first. You can solve for the y's first. 4y minus 9 equals 2y plus 5. Minus 2y minus 2y. That makes it 2y minus 9 equals 5. You're going to add 9. You get 2y equals 14. Divide by 2, y equals 7. Perfect. Guys, do you have to solve for y first? No, I'm just showing you that it doesn't matter which one you solve for first, just as long as you can get both answers. For the x, it would be 3x plus 4 equals 5x minus 2. Solve that for x, you would minus 3x minus 3x. That makes it 4 equals 2x minus 2. Add 2. 6 equals 2x. Divide by 2, and 3 equals x. Okay, does anybody have any questions about solving for these? Okay, then you should be able to do 3 and 4 for me before we do the last 4 together. So try 3 and 4 and see if you can get answers to these. 3 and 4, look at what rule you need to use and then try to get the answers to 3 and 4. Do that real quick. Okay. Let me see if I can get it. Let's see what you got. The rule here is diagonals bisect each other. Let's see if you've got the answers I get. 3x minus 11 equals x plus 1. Minus x minus x. That'd be 2x minus 11 equals 1. Add 11, 2x equals 12. Divide by 2, x equals 6. Is that what y'all got? Okay. Let's try the y one. 3y equals y plus 8 minus y makes it 2y equals 8. divide by 2, and y equals 4. Okay, we good on that one? I want to make sure before we move on. Anybody have any issues on that one? Okay, what about the next one? What are we going to do on this first one? What do we put together? What do we even set them? Do we set them equal? What do we do?
5y plus 17y plus 48 equals 180.
There you go. That is correct. Guys, look for the variables that are the same. These two have the same variable, and these are same side interior angles. Because they are same side interior angles, they are going to be supplementary, which means they add up to 180. So we set that equal to 180 when we add those up. We are going to combine like terms. We're going to combine that 5y and that 17y. That's going to be 20, is that what it is? Plus 48 equals 180. You minus that 48, minus 48, it makes it 22y equals 132. What is 132 divided by 22?
6.
6? Even? Just 6? Okay, perfect. Okay guys, this is one of those ones where you gotta use one to get the other, because we don't have anything to set 4x equal to. Alright, but we can plug this 6 back into the one that is directly across from it, because these would be equal. And I would make it 5 times 6, which would be 30. And I can set 4x equal to 30. Now, it does give you a decimal or a fraction or however you want to write it, as long as it's correct. 30 divided by 4 would be, what was it? I'm sorry. 7.5. Or 7 1/2, or 15 over 2. Any of those answers would be completely okay. Anything you want to give me on that, as long as it's the correct answer, because it's a nice decimal. Okay. Anybody see anything about this before we move on to the different types of problems? I don't want to spend too long. I'm sorry. I'm very distracted, worried about this boy. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure he's okay. He declined very quickly, so I just want to make sure he's good. Okay, here we go, guys. For the next one. So, you only need to prove one of the tests true. One, to prove that it's there. You're going to have to tell me which test proves that it's a parallelogram, guys. Okay? We know it's quadrilateral because it's got 4 sides. We need to know if it's a parallelogram. Based on the rules that we have, can we prove that this is a parallelogram?
Yeah.
Yes. Which rule does it follow?
Diagonals bisect each other.
Good. Diagonals bisect each other. The diagonals bisect each other. That is the rule that tells us that we can guarantee that is a parallelogram, because we have markings showing that the diagonals cut each other in half. Okay, for the next one. Yes or no on this one? Based on this picture, do you see enough to say yes or no?
Yep.
Yes. And what is the rule that it meets? What proof do you have?
Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent.
Okay, both pairs of opposite angles. You have to know the rules, guys, because they're going to be what you write down for these. Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Okay, last two. There's not much in here, guys. I told you there's not much in this set of notes. Here we go. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why would it be yes?
Because alternate interior angles are congruent.
And what do alternate interior angles being congruent tell you guys? That the lines are parallel. So those alternate interior angles make these lines parallel. Does that change your answer? Is it a yes or a no?
Yes.
It's a yes. By which one of your reasons?
Prove one pair of opposite sides parallel and
There you go, guys. There's only one side that has anything even marked on it. So the only one it could even possibly be is that one that is going to be the one side. So it's prove one pair of opposite sides is parallel and congruent. Guys, see how tricky that was though? They didn't mark it parallel, but they showed you a way to prove that it was parallel. They put the alternate interior angles on there, which makes it parallel. You gotta be careful, they try to trick you. Alright. Last one, yes or no?
No,
Why?
because there's not enough information.
There you go. Not enough information. Ooh, that doesn't look like an N. Information. Okay, guys, that is correct. Guys, all you have on that one is one side marked congruent. That does not give you enough of anything. We don't have anything based on just one side being congruent. That's it. So, from there, guys, put that in your folders, and I'm going to pass out your worksheet and let you get to work on this.